Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1821B, and today's date is March 21st, 2019, and the title of the episode is, This is Just the Tip of the Iceberg. Nothing can stop this. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about the deep state. We know they continually push their goals, and we know that they try every trick in the book to scare the American people. And one of the best things you can invest in for your home and for your protection is a Patriot flashlight. Now, this flashlight is solar powered, so you're never going to waste money on batteries again. It has emergency strobe light, it has a USB port, it has a compass, rope, wire cutter, and a siren to ward off individuals. Patriot flashlight is the perfect gift for you and your family. Go to patriotflashlight.com, use the promo code X20 and get 20% off the Patriot flashlight. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, everything that we've been seeing, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Remember all the investigations that are going on. Think about the investigations that are going on with no leaks. Think about all the unsealed indictments. Think about the carpet bombs that are being dropped right now, getting the public used to the idea that the Mueller investigation was a witch hunt. And the population right now, they're supporting Trump in that notion that Mueller's investigation was just that, a witch hunt. And we need to remember that Mueller, he's fighting to save his entire life. He's trying to save himself because he's implicated in some of these crimes. Now, we talk about Christopher Steele, the dossier, quite a bit. And Christopher Steele, he's been in the news. We talked about how he created the Steele dossier. We know that Steele is an MI6 British spy. But Paul Sperry discovered something about Steele that's very interesting. He tweeted out the following. Breaking. Dossier creator Christopher Steele was never in fact a British spy in Russia and never even handled spies or worked any assets while employed by MI6. And when he wrote the infamous Russia collusion dossier, he had not stepped foot inside Russia for over 7 years. It's unbelievable. And we know that the House Judiciary Committee, headed by Nadler, is investigating Trump's personal and business finances and business dealings, which has nothing to do with Russian collusion. But what they're doing is they're looking to find anything they possibly can on him. They're digging and digging and digging. There's no reason to have these investigations. The House, the Senate, has already said there's no Russian collusion. And Mueller's report's going to come out and say there's no Russian collusion. And we know they're calling many people to testify or give documents. And they have this entire list. There's so many people on there. And it ranges from Roger Stone to Assange to Flynn Jr. to the rest. That's just unbelievable. And Chairman Nadler from the House Judiciary Committee released the list, and many individuals who are on this list, they're saying, you know something? We're not playing this game anymore. Roger Stone, through his attorney, said, listen, I'm not going to respond to Nadler's request. We also had Michael Caputo. He is rejecting the committee's request. And we're starting to see a lot of others saying, listen, there's no reason for this. We're not playing this game. We're done here. And actually, this is what these individuals should do, because there is no reason to have these investigations, but we know why they're doing it. They think they have some type of an insurance policy. They need to keep it in the news. They need to keep the illusion that Trump has done something wrong. Think about if they didn't do any type of investigation, Mueller report comes out and says there's no Russian collusion. Trump then would be absolutely free. They don't want this. They want people still to think that he did something wrong. Now, what's very interesting is that we know that Mueller and Comey and the rest, they scrubbed Strzok's and Page's phones. And these are the FBI phones. And then they turned them over. So they got rid of all the text messages and they turned them over. So the question is, since their phones, their FBI business phones, were wiped clean. What about their personal phones? That's very interesting, because they must have communicated with their private phones, and Peter Strzok's attorney denied that there's even anything on the phones. So that means he looked at the phones? Because if he did, well, that might mean that he lied, because we're getting a conflicting story about what has been on the phones. Because this organization, SpygateProject.org, they've collated and stored all the text messages released to date between Strzok and Page. And within their personal phone, they've taken their tweets and the messages from iMessenger, which is on iPhones, not on the Android. The FBI phones are Android. And this is what this organization produced. On August 10th, 2016, Page says, "You can iMessage again if you had more to say." 8/31/2016, "I'll give you more detail, heat, or better on iMessage, but far easier to relay with conversation." September 10th, 2016, "Want to iMessage it to me or want to do it in person?" September 10th, 2016, "Okay, you can iMessage just for your convenience of typing too if you want." September 12th, 2016, "Oof, iMessage it." September 14th, "Can you share it on iMessenger?" September 26th, "She can't. You can iMessage instead." October 17th, "Plus, it'll take 5 minutes to delete. Suppose I could iMessage." So, right now with the messages that they're collecting, they must have been speaking on their phones personally, using iMessenger. And they must have been talking about how they were going to bring down Trump. So we need to take a look at these phones. This should be part of the investigation. Now, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said that Obama's former speechwriter, Ben Rhodes, is nowhere to be found and appears to be defying a court order to answer questions under oath about the Benghazi scandal. Now, Judicial Watch submitted a court-order discovery plan seeking depositions of Obama officials connected to Benghazi scandal, including Susan Rice and Ben Rhodes. Now, Ben Rhodes was Obama's White House Deputy Strategic Communication Advisor who attempted to orchestrate a campaign to reinforce Obama and to portray the Benghazi consulate terrorist attack as being rooted in the internet video, which turned out to be fake. Judge Royce Lamberth, who called Hillary Clinton's use of the private email server one of the gravest modern offenses to government transparency, ordered Ben Rhodes to answer questions about the Benghazi scandal under oath. And he's defying the order. So then Judicial Watch saw an in-person interview with Ben Rhodes, but the Deep State Department of Justice and State Department objected to their requests. The Department of Justice is harassing Trump while providing cover for Obama, Clinton. This is what Tom Fitton said. So it looks like they don't want people speaking, and Ben Rhodes, he is not following along with the court order. And Tom Fitton is continually trying to get him to speak under oath. Now, Paul Sperry once again tweeted out something about Hillary Clinton. Said, breaking, FBI headquarters allowed not only Hillary to bring her attorneys to the interview over her emails, but also let Cheryl Mills and other top aides bring their own lawyers to a routine meeting with agents in an unusual departure from FBI procedures to prevent the chilling of witnesses. We see that Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, they sent a letter to Barr requesting an update on McCabe's criminal referral. Now, Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, they sent a letter to Barr wanting to know what is the status of the criminal referral for fired FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Now, the referral was made April 19th, 2018. Well, we know Barr wasn't there as of yet. Who was there? Well, it looks like it was Rosenstein. And they want some answers because they've heard nothing of what has been happening. I think that whole letter was just put to the side and said, we're not answering it. And now they're back saying, okay, it's been 8 months now. What's going on? Barr, can you please answer us? Let's see what Barr says. He hasn't answered as of yet, but I'm sure he soon will answer. Now we see that Trump, he is continually pushing out carpet bombs. And he's doing this over and over again. He tweeted out the following. The reason we have the special counsel investigation is that James Comey, a dirty cop, leaked his memos to a friend who leaked them to the press on purpose. Totally illegal. And he's continually repeating a lot of this and bringing out new information to keep the public up to date in what is going on and making the public think about it. Because a lot of the stuff that he's saying is turning out to be true. He knows it's true because they have everything. They know everything. And it might seem crazy in the beginning. Remember when he came out with Obama spied on me? And people were like, what is he talking about? And the mainstream media made fun of him. Now look, many, many months later, turns out to be absolutely true. And it goes much, much deeper than that. And Trump now is turning the tables on the deep state. He tweeted out the following. John Solomon, as Russia collusion fades, Ukrainian plot to help Clinton emerges. Now remember, yesterday we talked about how John Solomon interviewed a prosecutor from Ukraine, where they're looking into individuals within Ukraine that were helping Clinton to maybe manipulate the election and do other things where they colluded with Ukraine. Very interesting. Remember, everything the deep state used against Trump, he can now use against them. Lying, well, you might get jail time. Not filling out the FARA forms, you can get jail time and you can be fined. Colluding with another country, well, you can be investigated. Think about what is happening right now. Now, Facebook has come out and has apologized to the White House social media director, Dan Scavino Jr. Remember, they were blocking him. They thought he was a bot. And they apologized for Facebook blocking him. We know that they were blocking him on purpose. We know that Facebook is in total control of what they want to show and what they don't want to show. Just like with Zero Hedge, they completely blocked Zero Hedge. They see what they can get away with. Who's going to complain? How many people are going to complain? Because they think no one's paying attention. Do you really think the shooter was streaming live and Facebook didn't know about it? Think about all the shootings that happened here in the United States and how many videos, pictures they banned. You don't think their algorithms pick this up? You mean their algorithm didn't see a gun shooting? No, they wanted it up for a certain period of time to get the false flag exposure. That's what they wanted. I mean, it's come out that Facebook has been storing hundreds of millions of account passwords in plain text files. But don't worry, there's been no internal leaks. Well, that doesn't mean someone from the outside didn't get it and they just didn't report it. Because there's a reason why you keep passwords in a plain text format. Maybe for the intelligence organizations to collect them and use them and look at certain people's accounts? Maybe. Think about it. But James O'Keefe of Veritas Project did an undercover investigation of Twitter. Because remember, Jack Dorsey was out there. He was on a radio show saying, listen, we don't shadow ban. He testified in front of Congress saying we don't shadow ban. We don't do any of these things that you're saying that we do. So James O'Keefe tweeted out the following. Twitter engineers were caught on tape talking about shadow banning a way of talking, targeting conservatives, classifying users who tweet about guns and God as Russian bots and caught them on video. Who's suing Twitter? Oh, Devin Nunes. Class action suit? Billions of people involved? Yes. Q even told us, @Jack, you're next. Now, right on schedule, after the event in New Zealand, this didn't take that much time, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that they officially are going to ban military-style semi-automatic rifles and high-capacity magazines. And she said this is just the beginning. Now, this is interesting. Isn't this what the deep state has been trying to do here in the United States? Ban all assault rifles and high-capacity magazines? Seems very similar, and you can see this was part of the agenda. The agenda was ban the weapons and block certain sites and put laws into place so you have full censorship. Think about this. A powerless people do not have a voice. A powerless people are easier to control. A population that has a weapon that can stand up to the deep state, they have a voice. The deep state, they don't want the people to have a voice. They don't want to be threatened by the population. It's easier to control them if there are no weapons. That's why in the United States, our founding fathers said, no, you have the right to bear arms, because they experienced what it was like to be under control. And they knew if you don't have weapons, you cannot fight against those individuals that are trying to control you. But we can see the deep state's getting their way in New Zealand. Remember, the elite, they're setting up shop in New Zealand. Do you think they really want people running around with weapons? Do you think they want the people in that country to see what is going on in the outside world? No. How do you keep the elite safe in this area? Remove the weapons and block all outside communication. And this is what they're doing. We see Trump right now. He has held up a map and said, listen, we've eliminated the Islamic State. He showed a map, showed the red part when he came into office. This is where the Islamic State was. And now, today, we see the Islamic State is no longer in Syria. And if you notice, Trump continually makes the case saying, listen, the terrorists are beaten. There's no reason for the troops to stay in there. The neocons, the deep state, they keep trying to force him to keep the troops there. He wants them out. There is no reason for the United States to be in Syria. This was a deep state neocon plan from the beginning. And they know if Trump removes the troops from Syria, the coalition forces, they have to leave. There's no way they could stay there. They don't have the support of the United States. And they will leave once the United States is out of there. And this is why the neocons, the deep state, they're trying to keep some troops there. But I believe Trump is going to win out in the end, and the troops will be removed. Let's get into Q's post here. This is post 3131. And a lot of this we've seen before. And I think Q is bringing this up because right now we have Epstein, we have Epstein's lawyers making the case of why all the documents should stay sealed, and the judge wants these documents unsealed. But Q is giving this as a refresher, letting us know what is going on. Gave us a picture of Clinton in the water with Ricardo, Shays, George Nader, Jose Calzada, Rolando Gonzalez Bunster. And this is Clinton with his pals on January 2017 in an island very close to Epstein's Island. You only can get there by a private boat. And Q gives us a link to Politico. And the link says, mystery party seeks secrecy in Jeffrey Epstein-related suit. Let me read a little bit about this. 2 mystery litigants citing privacy concerns are making a last-ditch bid to keep secret some details in a lawsuit stemming from wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein's history of paying underage girls for sex. Just prior to a court-imposed deadline Tuesday, 2 anonymous individuals surfaced to object to the unsealing of a key lower court ruling in the case, as well as various submissions by the parties. Both people filed their complaints in New York-based Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which is overseeing the case. The 2 people said they could face unwarranted speculation and embarrassment if the court makes public records from the suit. Now, these 2 individuals are Jane Doe and John Doe, and they will not give their names. So they're just called John and Jane Doe. Q says, drop 3050. Will the rich and powerful influence the court to prevent the unsealing? This is in brackets in bold. Yes, because the people that are involved in this, if this is exposed, there's going to be a lot of people going down. Q says, follow the attorney. This is Nick Lewin. Who took the pic? Well, was this Rachel Chandler who took the pic? Maybe. Who was located behind the camera? I'm assuming maybe young girls, boys. The handler, Rachel Chandler. Q says sex trafficking is real. Q. Post 3132. So Q gives us a link, and this is a link to the motion of John Doe, saying these are the reasons why we need this entire document to stay sealed. We cannot have it unsealed whatsoever. And let me read a part of this. The release of the unredacted summary judgment materials may well substantially infringe the privacy and reputational interest of many third persons, potentially including amicus, who have never been charged with a crime, have never been subject to civil proceedings, and have never been publicly identified by the individual who is pressing the charges against Epstein. So Q says, in brackets in bold, Nick Lewin, he's the one who signed this motion, with an arrow, Mueller connection, with an arrow pointing to Comey connection. Well, Nick Lewin was special counsel to Mueller and Comey. He was the Department Chief Criminal Division, U.S. Attorney, SDNY. Nick was also counsel in USA versus Osama bin Laden. He also handled many of the terrorism trials in 9/11. It looks like this individual is the go-to guy. Under this, it says national security, Q. So it looks like they have their guy trying to stop this. Will it work? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But if it doesn't work, and this is open to the public, and people see all these third persons, all these individuals, guess what? This is a game changer. Post 3133. Q starts to give us information of who some of these people might be, with many posts of Hollywood stars and many others. So, and Annan put up the same picture of Clinton with all those individuals and said the following. Started digging on the pic Q posted, trying to figure out who took the pic. Doing a search of it on TinEye, the first article that pops up is The True Pundit last March. One thing that popped out, going to dig further in a bit, was the location the pic was taken. Clinton is seen here kicking back at a beach day in January 2017 in Palmilla Bayaibi, an exclusive haven of warm waters and refuge near the so-called Paso de Quatano, very close to Isla Siona. The resort is only accessible by private boat. No idea who took the pic yet, still digging, but thought I should share the location in case it helps one of you. Anybody know anything about this resort? Is it a last resort? Down below, Q gives us a link to rachelchandler.us. There's an individual right on the front of the website, and then it shows pictures of children. And Q says, how many girls were waiting for the return to the boat? One for each? Don't really know. Who owned the boat? Still don't know that. What does a handler procure? The products, the children. Is the handler, brackets bold, one of many connected to Epstein? Yes. Flight logs reveal many hidden artifacts. RC, capitals, bold, and brackets, which is Rachel Chandler, Q. Post 3134 gives us everything from 3133 and says, who is Rachel Chandler? Well, she's a casting director, a photographer, and it seems like she takes pictures and she casts people in her modeling agency. Q. Post 3135 gave us everything from 3134 and said, what high-profile elite people fund and provide Rachel with her photography studio? What is the studio used for? Well, it's used to take pictures of children. What is the studio really used for? It's a meat market. It's a way to traffic children. She's the casting director of providing the children for these individuals. Who has Rachel Chandler been pictured with? Many Hollywood stars, musical stars, photographers, the elite. And Q, later in the post, gives us many, many pictures of this. This goes far beyond spirit cooking models. Q. Post 3136, and Annan posts a picture of Rachel Chandler. It looks like she's like 14 or 15 in this picture. Under it, it says Chandler equals child handler. These people are sick. If the records become unsealed, much will be revealed. Watch the news for Rachel Chandler. Most likely, she is Jane Doe in the court records who does not want this coming out. Post 3137 gives us a picture of Rachel and Eminem. And down below it says, this one case has the ability to bring down the many rich and powerful people, those who scream the loudest. Think about all the Hollywood people that are screaming very, very loudly. Post 3138. And Annan posted many pics here. This guy has a connection to the Clinton Foundation. We'll see him later on in the posts. Down below you see Tom Arnold with Rachel Chandler. Again, and Eminem with Rachel Chandler. We see P. Diddy and another individual. Post 3139. And Annan posted a pic of Bill Clinton with Rachel Chandler. I think she was 15 at this time. Moving on to post 3140. Q is responding to an Annan's monitor picture that Rachel Chandler had on her Instagram. And Q responds by saying, Epstein Island dungeon beneath the temple. Remember, Q has showed us the temple that is on the island. Sex and torture rooms. Openly flaunt across social media. Untouchable. Q. They weren't really hiding anything because they always thought they were untouchable. Post 3141. And Annan put up another Q proof showing zero deltas, just showing us different Q proofs. And it says, Q says, thank you, Annan. Post 3142. And Annan posts models of children from Rachel's modeling agency. And here it says models to watch in 2017. These are models back in 2016. Do they really look like models to you? They don't to me. Q says, where are they now? Who knows? Maybe many of them have passed away or been used in the sex trafficking, the sexcapades of the wealthy on Epstein's Island. Remember, she's a casting director and not a casting director in the way you think. Post 3143. And Annan posted a pic of Clinton Foundation and Rachel Chandler. Waris Alwalier is a jewelry designer who created a pendant for a gala dinner and live auction celebrating the 10th anniversary of Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton's 65th birthday. So here he is once again with Rachel Chandler. And there are other individuals, Bill Clinton and many others, that are with her. Post 3144. These are more pics of Rachel Brand's children. I'm going to blur them out. If you like to see them, you can see them on the X22 Report or go to Q's postings and you can see the pictures there. And these were all taken from Rachel Chandler's Tumblr, and you can see that these are kind of strange pictures. Post 3145. And Annan posted a post by Lisa Crowley. This is back in April 2018. She says, photo is Prince Andrew with Virginia Roberts, who accused the prince and Alan Dershowitz of having sex with her when she was a teen. The prince is a friend of convicted pedo Jeffrey Epstein. Rachel Chandler was an alleged handler for Epstein. Under it, it says, look up Ray Chandler. None are safe. Q. And below that, it says the royals are in there somewhere as well. Post 3146. And Annan posted a picture of Peter Baird and Rachel Chandler. Well, Peter Hill Baird is an American artist, photographer, a writer who lives and works in New York City and Kenya. His photographs of Africa, African animals, and the journals often integrate his photographs have been widely shown and published since the 60s. Now, out of the New York Post, Peter's wife put him in a psych ward after he brought home Russian hookers. Very interesting. Post 3147, and Annan posted the security cam pic, and it shows different rooms and different children and things going on there. Down below, it says Rachel Chandler had the possible Epstein Island security cam pic on her Instagram. Post 3148, and Annan posted a pic of Patrick Demachelier. Patrick is a world-renowned French fashion photographer responsible for countless iconic images created for publications such as Vogue, Harper's Bazaar. He is perhaps best known for his intimate portraits of Princess Diana that help establish her popularity and accessible public image. And guess who he's with? You guessed it, Rachel. Post 3149. Here's a picture of Mary Kate Olsen, Rachel Chandler, Hannah Linden. They're attending the Interview magazine party to celebrate the art issue dinner at the Mondrian on December 4th, 2008 in Miami. Post 3150, and Annan posted a picture, put 2 square boxes around 2 individuals. This looks like this is Matt Rothschild with who? Rachel Chandler. Post 3151, another Annan posted a pic, and it shows Britney Spears with Rachel Chandler. Richard Gere with Rachel Chandler. Shows sneakers. And it shows children, which I'm going to blur out once again, but if you want to see it, you can come to the site or go to Q's site. Post 3152. And Annan posted another picture. This is Prince Andrew is also deeply connected. Post 3153. And Annan posted a picture of Ray Chandler and Paris Hilton. Post 3154. And Annan posted the same picture of Patrick with Rachel Chandler. Then it shows many pictures of Rachel Chandler. And down below it says, Rachel Chandler, don't ask where I got them. Rachel Chandler, don't ask where I got them. Got who? The children? I believe that's what she's talking about. And it shows picture after picture. And under it, it says, dig Annans. Post 3155 shows a picture of Rachel Chandler. And supposedly this is a picture of Fam Damley. Down below gives us a picture of red shoes. And in French, there's Le Pape est un vrai dandy, which translates into the Pope is a real dandy. Now, what do they mean by this? Was the Pope there? We don't know. Then there's other pictures of children that go down the line, and down below it says, keep digging Annans, Rachel Chandler is the key. Post 3156. Q says Rachel Chandler equals Allison Mack times 100, which means this is much, much bigger than Nexium. Post 3157 gave us a link to michaelbin.com, And under it, it says connection to Ray Chandler. Now, this is pictures of children in Russia, Ukraine, and they're very, very strange, odd pictures. And it looks like this is where maybe some of the children were brought to, or this is where they got some of the children. Are you awake? Q. Post 3158. Standard Hotel, Rachel Chandler. Now, if we need to go back to post 655, because Q does mention the Standard Hotel in California. And in Annan, back in January 31st, 2018, put up Watsman was the general manager of the Standard Hotel in West Hollywood. She had worked for the company for nearly 11 years. Q says, what happened at the hotel? Brackets bold AS, Adam Schiff. What is Adam Schiff attempting right now? Favor repaid. Now, the LA Times article reported that a helicopter crashed into a house. And lo and behold, Watsman was killed. And she was the general manager of the Standard Hotel. Q told us the Standard Hotel, Rachel Chandler. Is this where the meetings took place? And Adam Schiff is involved? Is this his district where all this is taking place? And Q says favor repaid. They got rid of the person that knew what was going on there. Let's move on to post 1203. This is April 20th, 2018. Mac is naming names, big names in Hollywood, government, local, federal. Proof, the Standard Hotel, helicopter crash, all related. Future will prove fast. Adam Schiff, feeling okay today, but maybe not later on. Why is the MX border Long Beach port so important? TikTok LLC. This is where they bring in the children. Post 3159. And Annan put up a picture of Paris Hilton and Rachel Chandler. Down below it says, who did Nikki Hilton, sister of Paris, marry? James Rothschild. Q. Post 3160. Gave us a link to FBI.gov, tips, submit a tip, report threats and crime. If you see any of this, report it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Think about what happens if the records of Epstein are unsealed. All these people, and I'm sure there's many, many more, these people will be brought out into the open. And remember, Q did mention that an unsealing of something will bring unity to the country. So if this is exposed, think about what happened with the college fraud. If this is exposed and it shows CEOs, Hollywood stars, very well-known people, the elite, all doing this to children, will this unite the country? Maybe. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.